In this module, you are going to learn how to get data from the user into the program and how to display information on a display screen in a C++ program. We use cin to get data from the user, and we use cout to display information. Now remember, whenever using cin or cout, we need to have pound include IOStream and using namespace standard statement at the beginning of the program. Let me talk briefly to you about pound include IOStream. It is known as preprocessor directive. Always preprocessor directive in C++ begins with a pound sign. It puts contents of file IOStream into the program. This file contains declarations of cout, cin, end of line, and other items needed to perform stream input and output. Let me talk to you briefly about using namespace standard. We need this statement for proper compilation. It tells the compiler to use the standard namespace. And this statement is put near the top before the main function. Now in this part, let me explain cout to you with some examples. It is pronounced as cout. Let's look at example 1. Here you are seeing a simple arithmetic expression with some arithmetic operator, and that's how you write cout. Make sure to put this two less than signs before each item sent. That's why I have this right here and right here. It is known as insertion operator, and this would produce the output 14. Let's look at example 2. Let's say I'm interested in displaying hello world on the screen, and that's how you will write it. Cout, two less than signs, hello world. Make sure to enclose the string with double quotation marks, and this would produce output hello world without the quotes. String is simply a sequence of characters, and make sure again to surround the string with double quotes. Let's look at some variations of cout. We can send more than one item to cout. Let's look at example 3. Suppose I have this statement int x equal 10 and cout the value is x and l. This will produce the output, the value is 10. The value is a string literal. It's produced as is, but x would be replaced by its value 10. So let me quickly run these 3 examples in C++. And here is my complete program with those examples which I have discussed. Let me quickly compile and run this program. And here is my output. This line 12 is producing 14. And this line 15 is producing this output hello world. And this line 19 is producing the value of x is 10. I have already explained to you in details. So let's go back to the presentation. And let's see some more examples. This I already told you. Let's look at example 4. This cout would produce I love programming on the screen. But let's say I rewrite this statement as 3 couts, like cout I, cout love, cout programming, and both will produce the same output. I love programming, like that. Both will produce the same output. So remember the golden rule. Cout does not start on a new line unless told to do so. Now let me talk to you about end of line. It is pronounced as end of line, or some people call this called end L, and it is known as a stream manipulator. It allows control over look of the output. And what it does, it moves cursor to the first column of the next line. And without end L, what happens, the next item will display right after the current output on the same line. Let's look at this example 5. If I have this statement with end L, it will produce the output I love, and programming would go on the next line. End L is causing cursor to go to the next line, and that's why programming is on the next line. Suppose we are interested in having a blank line between the output, so we can use this extra end L, and you can see this extra end L produced this blank line between I love and programming. Let's look at this another way of writing this, same thing. This will produce the same output. You can write end L separately with cout. Now before that, let me go back and run these examples which I have shown you just now. And let me compile and run. And line 10 is producing the first I love programming. Line 11, 12, and 13 is producing the same output right here. Then line 17 is producing this output I love with programming on the next line. Line 21 is producing this output with the blank line in between. And line 25, 26, and 27 again is producing this I love programming with a blank line in between. So let's go back to the presentation, and let me talk to you about escape sequences. Escape sequences in C++ are used again to control the look of the output. So these are some of the escape sequences. We have \n, it's known as new line. It causes the cursor to go to the next line for subsequent printing. We have \t for horizontal tab. It causes the cursor to go to the next tab stop. We have \a, it causes the computer to beep. We have \b, it causes cursor to move left one position. We have 2 backward slashes, it causes backslash to be printed. We have \single quote, causes single quotation mark to be printed. And we have \double quote, it causes a double quotation mark to be printed. Let's talk about \n. Let me show you an example. Suppose I have this cout statement, how are you, but in between I have \n, and \n after r, it will produce the output, how are you, on 3 lines. And it is again because of these \n. After how, R will go to the next line. After R, U will go to the next line. Let's talk about \t. If I have this cout statement, it will produce the output 1, 2, 3 like that. The 2 will be printed on the next tab position, 3 would be printed on the next tab position. Let's talk about \" and \b. Let's say I have this cout statement, it will produce how are you, because after displaying how, cursor went back one position, so A replaced the W. Similarly, after displaying R, cursor went back one position and capital Y replaced E. And let's say this cout statement would produce Shakespeare's Hamlet with double quotes around Hamlet. We have to put \" if we want double quote. So before that, again, let me run what I have discussed just now. This is our complete program, and let me compile and run, and here is my output. Line 8 is producing how are you on 3 lines. This line 12 is producing how are you like that. This line 16, the output is here, and line 20, Shakespeare's Hamlet with double quotes around Hamlet. So let me go back to the presentation and let me talk to you about formatting output. Let's look at this example. Suppose I have a variable y and I have assigned it to 5.67789, and let's say I have this cout statement, set precision to, I have put it before y, it will produce output 5.7. And the reason is set precision to would display the 2 most significant digits. Now you might wonder, it should be 5.6 and not 5.7. What is happening? The rounding off is taking place instead of truncation. Please read about rounding off in the book or on the internet. Let's see one more example. And if we put fixed before set precision to, it will produce 5.68, and the reason is set precision with fixed would display 2 digits after the decimal point. Again, rounding off is taking place and not the truncation. And let me show you the last example. If you have set precision 3, it will display 5.679. Now again, let me run this. And here is the complete program, and let me compile and run this program, and here is the output. Line 11 is producing 5.7, line 15 5.68, line 19 5.679. So in this part you watched all about couts. In the next part of this module, we are going to talk about how to get input from the user into the program using cin. So make sure to watch that. Thank you. See you. Bye.